choosing to distinguish our strengths, our flukes, our weaknesses, and our individuality is the perfect gift we can give to the world. So, why don't we step into becoming the best version of ourselves? It doesn't matter what problems we are dealing, but the way we are dealing can significantly make a difference. The book intends to bring awareness to people on rediscovering themselves and aims to teach coping mechanisms to help them live a life without anxiety and depression. Based on the author's real-life story, the book will guide readers on the journey of understanding and rediscovering self and the freedom that comes with it. Grab your copies now.
Countdown is on to 2022, and there's no better place to celebrate than downtown Brampton. Ring in the new year with live, in-person performances from Juno award-winning Canadian rock band Sam Roberts Band.
Get dressed in rags, everybody waving these faded flags.
Local artist Amira and special guest Esanabe in Garden Square, followed by a 10-minute dazzling fireworks display at midnight, presented by Cal C Law. Celebrations generously sponsored by Tim Hortons begin at 9 p.m. Visit brampton.ca/New Year's Eve for more details.
Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Action Honda, where car ownership is made easy. Located at 4334 Kingston Road, Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Come to Action Honda. Whether bibili ka o hindi, it's always a pleasure to talk sa kababayan. Mabuhay!
Great car deals in action. Your Filipino friends ready at your service. Test drive at Action Honda today.
This TV program is intended for educational and awareness purposes only, and solely as a self-help tool for your own use. The information provided in or through this TV program is in no way intended to be a substitute for the professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment provided by your own medical provider or mental health provider. You agree and acknowledge that Joy Unleashed International TV hosts and guests are not providing medical advice, mental health advice, or religious advice in any way. Always seek the advice of your own medical provider and or mental health provider regarding any questions or concerns that you might have to pertain to your own mental health. From the author of the book Joy Unveiled, Unraveling the Key to Happiness, comes a radio show that talks about mental health awareness and balanced lifestyle that complements your goals and desires. Welcome to Healthy Mind, Healthy Heart, and You. Your Ate Ruth will simply provide the tools you need. Healthy Mind, Healthy Heart, and You.
Good evening, good morning. This is your Tita Ruth Nagmamahal, broadcasting live here in Toronto. Welcome to your special episode of Joy Unleashed, Healthy Hearts, Healthy Mind. I wish all the December celebrants a happy birthday, especially to Vicky Bautista of New York, Lori Berenguel of Philippines, Cynthia Bletzel of Ohio, Ronnie Lancer of New York. In this episode, I would also like to thank and wish all of my previous guests in the show, including those from Season 1. Tom Carson of Smile Theater. We have Tanya Haldar, Dee Williams, Arlene Pakulan, Jay Magis, Amy Sky, Alpha Garcia, Alex Spangman, TJ Whitelaw, Carl Daisy, B-Boy Alba, Josie De Leon, and JDL Performing Arts, Kayla, Laurelyn and Alicia Campbell, Dexter Tumang, Marianne Parker, Dr. Alicia Del Prado, Dr. Albert Gao, Paula Zaraza, Fernando de la Yuan, Bayani Lagas, Michael Idea, Veronica Javier, Joel Aguirre, and especially all my love to my partner of season 1, Constantine Cabarrios. Hello, Kuya Tang. I really miss you. Okay, I hope to see you next year and be my guest again, or my host, my co-host. Welcome back. And of course, to I Love TV, Lloyd and Lovely, and to MCB and Von Canton, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year 2022. So for our opening, I will be featuring a very good composer, and he's here in Toronto, of course, by the name of Rodney Ronquillo. This song, Bring in the Season, Christmas song, is for the JDL presentation. Josie De Leon, congratulations on this very and wonderful presentation or video that you have set up for us. Okay, take it away, Vaughn.
Now that December's come around, festive lights everywhere, colors of silver, red, green, and gold, joyfulness in the air. Snowflakes are painting blankets of white, couples romance with mistletoe. Happiness reigns on this chill holiday. There's so much more to be having fun. So shout on high to bring in this season, draw in the magic so dreams could start. Every day should give us a reason to celebrate Christmas and give love from our heart. Give us a reason.
Hear all the laughter when children find all their gifts under their tree. Ribbons and ornaments decorate homes with happy families.
Memories shared with the young and the old, raising their cheers together. Songs will be sung, stories be told. There's so much more than just silver and gold. Shout on high to bring in the season, drawing the magic so dreams can start. Every day should give us a reason to celebrate Christmas and give love from our hearts. Embrace all the seasons, drop what separates us. If every day could be this way, know that good will always be Give us a reason. Shout on high to bring in the season, drawing the magic so dreams can start. Every day should give us a reason to celebrate Christmas and give love from our heart. To bring in the season, drawing the magic so dreams can start. Every day should give us a reason to celebrate Christmas and give love from
Oh my, that was such a wonderful song. It brings a smile to our face. It's Christmas just around the corner. It's in fact 6 days, and we are overwhelmed with commercials that promote a version of Christmas that a lot of people find hard to live up to. Instead of comfort and joy, many feel sadness and stress, and for some, even isolation and loneliness. And this year, with the pandemic still lingering on, the impact of global warming and our looming economy, a lot of people are feeling, well, a bit gloomy and carry that negativity based on the expectations of a commercialized holiday blitz. Well, it's Christmas, and for the second time, a lot of us will be celebrating this Christmas differently due to this new Omicron variant that is a lot of people coping with fear and some anger, frustrations, disgust. And so, again, let's face the fact that a lot of us might be alone in Christmas this year. Some could be facing sadness and loneliness due to a death of a loved one, living far from relatives and unable to travel home, broken relationships, loss of a job. And if you have social anxiety disorder, SAD, that's what we call here in North America, and don't have close relationships with family or friends, loneliness at Christmas could be particularly hard this year. So we're going to be talking about beating the blues this Christmas. So, what do you do when you feel lonely and sad? You know, these are emotions, and like emotions, they diminish. But in general, there are ways to cope with being alone this Christmas. First, by addressing our mental state and how it is contributing to our feeling of sadness or loneliness. In my book, Joy Unveiled, I talked about the 5 aha moments. This is acceptance. And it's just not acceptance of the situation, but acceptance of how we feel. How do I feel today? I do this by actually scanning. And I learned this in my course about mindfulness. Body scanning is being aware of how you feel inside. And I do this just by closing my eyes and running my hands through my body, feeling the energy, which part of my body starting to feel that heaviness. Is it my heart? Is it my throat? Is it my head? Is it my legs? Is it my feet? Most of it is in my stomach, and that's because of anxiety. I do very often feel anxious about certain things that I cannot control. So now the second is labeling that feeling. I accept that I'm now feeling anxious. I accept that I'm feeling lonely and sad. By naming that alone, that is conquering your emotions. That is a step towards conquering your emotions. Now, that is awareness and connection to your whole body and your being. What is your body telling you? Now, my third aha moment is action. So, by knowing how you feel and what you feel, you are now going to choose which path you need to take. Will I be happy or continue to be sad? Christmas is the perfect day to take time to appreciate what you have in life, be it good health, a place to live, or food on the table. Having gratitude will also help you to move past anxiety as you learn to live in the present moment and be mindful of your surroundings. One way to practice gratitude is to write down 3 things you are grateful for on this day. Well, I find pleasure writing and sending cards and connecting to friends, relatives who live in a distance. It brings me to the memories during my how I met them, how we laughed together. Lots of memories. However, if those moments during the memories bring you to a negative negative feelings or heavy feelings about someone and you cannot go past that, the next technique is to ground yourself. Ground yourself using your five senses. Where am I like now? What am I seeing right now, right in front of me? I see a camera. I see a mirror. What am I hearing? I hear myself. I hear a sound from my TV room upstairs. How do I feel? What am I touching? It is my table. It is smooth. What am I tasting right now? I have a glass of champagne or wine and taste it. Taste well. So all those senses is getting connected to who you really are and to how you feel. So there's also one way of coping in this loneliness. So enjoy solitude. If you find yourself alone in your room or in the house, it seems that being alone again this Christmas is unavoidable. So plan a day for yourself. Buy something online to treat yourself. Cook your favorite food. Or plan a movie marathon. Haha, I love the Korean movies, by the way. Oh, that might do. Or do something. Scrooge. I love the Grinch. I love the Grinch. I love to watch those movies again. Do something upbeat, like learning a new language or starting work on a novel that's always been in your head. And for women, that mani and pedi, overdue tutorial, a simple foot spa, a good way to relax and detoxify. Christmas is a day to indulge in whatever makes you happy. And lastly, celebrate online. Do you have online friends? So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to bring to you a friend of mine, a special guest in the name of Marianne Parker. Marianne Parker is a celebrity coach, author, and founder of Manor of Manners, a company that specializes in international business, social luxury, and youth etiquette. She has almost a decade of experience in helping the interests of luxury brands, businesses, and individuals. She is the author of two very well-received books, The Sharpest Soft Skill and Posh Overnight. And before we bring in and stream in Marianne Parker and her daughter, Destiny, commercial muna. Let's take a break.
Hey, it's me, Gia Rogers, ambassador of Mitsify, and today I'm going to show you the forms and functions of our 2021 collection bags. Come check it out.
I love how versatile it is. As someone who goes to university, I think it's great. I really like how it can turn into a backpack, and it's very big on the inside. My favorite part might be these holders down here for wallet, credit card. That's really helpful.
The collection also comes with two interchangeable straps, the classic strap and the indigenous.
I love the options for the pockets. I can put my phone in here, and then I have spots for my pens. This water bottle holder is really cool.
And as you can see, you can also change the shape of the bag.
Good news for Tagalog-speaking job hunters with good English. Ideal Talents Staffing Solutions is in need of general labor, assembly and packing, shipper, receiver, forklift operator, office plant cleaners, and warehouse cleaners. The said jobs is available in the following areas: Milton, Mississauga, Brampton, Bolton, Barrie, Vaughan, and Scarborough. Get paid weekly. No resume required, no experience required, and it will be just a quick telephone interview. Interested applicants may visit the website idealtalents.ca or call 647-467-5356 or 647-460-5508. Ideal Talents Staffing Solutions. Apply today. Work tomorrow. We keep asking, what's trending? What's viral? Here we ask, what's fresh in the entertainment scene? The latest innovations in science and inventions in the medical field. What's fresh on the planet? Next big thing, NBT.
Ladies and gentlemen, audience, friends, and everyone, will you please welcome Marianne Parker of San Diego?
Thank you so
Marianne?
much. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Ruth. I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you. I know you are my best bet for December. I know you have so much to share. Like today, I actually prepared the setting, my table setting, but unfortunately, the camera is not allowing us to see those. So, well, we're just going to have to do what we have here. So, first of all, I'd like to ask you, how have you been? How's the weather in San Diego?
The weather in San Diego is very sunny, so it is not a typical Christmas time as probably for you, but we're so used to the good weather that we're trying our best and we're enjoying it. I only had a fireplace right now in the evening. Otherwise, during the day is very, very sunny.
Yes. So tell us about your book.
Well, I have two books. The first one is The Sharpest Soft Skill about business etiquette, because I've noticed that many people are lacking knowledge about how to conduct themselves in the proper way. And I used to be one of those people, and I decided to learn more about it. And I studied in some of the biggest schools in the world for etiquette and business etiquette in general. So I have a brief edition, and was very well received. My second book is called Posh Overnight. And this is the second book. And I have to tell you that I included everything you need to know if you want to be posh, polished, and to present yourself in the best way possible, because especially when the borders and the life gets back to normal, I hope so, we need to present ourselves in the best way possible, because we want to make new friends, we want to reconnect with the old ones, and you have everything from A to Z. And by the way, I have a gift for one of your viewers, because I know that some people are lonely this Christmas. I know that some people are facing challenges, unemployment. I want to send a present to the first person who asks a question or contacts you, and I'm going to send them a gift, and perhaps I'll send both of my books just as a gift for the holidays.
Oh my gosh, that is so generous. Thank you. So whoever is there, ask a question. But I do, well, recently you were in a magazine, or you were working with someone about the tips on buying Christmas presents. Anything about that?
Yeah, actually, I'm a contributor to many magazines, and I work with Brides, with even with Forbes. I work with the Spurs, or just so many magazines, because people are interested about the feeling of Christmas, about the feeling of gift giving and receiving, about table manners, about international fine dining. So especially weddings, because everything changed so much. COVID changed everything, and we cannot really rely on the old etiquette rules, because etiquette was based, and it is going to be changing based on the social changes in the world. So this is what we're doing, trying to update ourselves as much as we can.
So any tips, and how much is it? What right now we're all impacted economically. So what is the best price? What do you think? Which range, would you recommend for this Christmas as presents?
Well, everybody has a different way of approaching this holiday season, because some people they're unemployed. So you can do as much as you can. The point is that you want to acknowledge the people that you really love. And back in the day, we were very much frowning upon the gift cards. But now, even for the offices, the gift card can be a really good addition. And just a simple Merry Christmas card with a note, personalized, or something that you know about the person at work or at home. So obviously, we're going to be buying presents. Just don't go over the top, or don't do it in a very elaborate way, because we live in a very uncertain times. So this is what we are talking in the magazines. But tonight I would like to talk about the international fine dining, and I've got some really good tips for our viewers.
Oh my, I really wish that you could see it because I have here actually my 12 setting. So I have a plate.
I've
I
got
have
a lot of
my
plates here too. I've got everything for our viewers and our new friends, and I'll be very happy to share everything as much as we can, because usually fine dining is a very long topic. There is so much information, but I would like to share certain tips that you might not be able to hear or read about them in the regular books. So, which I've learned throughout my experience and throughout going to history, maybe about the toasting. So we're going to have fun. And for the people who are lonely and who are alone at this Christmas day, I hope that you feel better, because even if you're on your own, I want you to understand that you're very important, you're precious, and I want you to dress up and show up at your own table.
This is actually what it's all about. This is self-care and self-compassion, being kind to yourself. So, a lot of us is going to be alone this Christmas. If we don't have a lot of family, we can't even visit them anymore. So probably the best is invite a couple of friends, your best friend, to eat and dine with you. And for that is why I have you here to give us some tips, because right now I'm very much interested with fine dining. So I have here my salad plate, my my service plate, and then I have here my main plate. There's just too much in the table. And then
That's a great point, because usually when we are hosting a fine dining event, we always have to remember that we do not need to place every single fork and knife we have in the house. So, because people might feel intimidated, and sometimes when you see such an elaborate table, you might become a little intimidated and confused. And I will show you a very basic way to feel comfortable in any kind of situations, because some people are working with very high profile clients. They might get invited to dinners, lunches eventually, or even if you're in the house, or if your friend is inviting you, they know your etiquette, you don't. So what do? Always remember that you navigate the table setting from outside in. You never start from inside out. So, and if you have a hostess, you always wait for the hostess to start. You don't want to to be at the table and everyone is talking and you're just starting to eat from your soup or your salad or whatever you have. You're waiting for the host and then you start. This is the proper way. Also, when you're sitting at the table, try to have your posture properly. Because when people see you with the proper posture, with a nice posture, they know they can read you. They can read immediately about your demeanor, your personality, even your confidence. Because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So you want to show them respect, and you want to respect yourself as well. Always remember that the food are served from the left, and the dirty dishes, or the dishes that you're done with, are taken from the right. But the beverages are always poured from the right side. So this is something that many people do not know. If you're confused or if you're somewhere and you don't know what to do, just stay straight. And the servers, because some of them are extremely skilled, some of them are not, let me tell you this. But if they're really, really skilled, they're going to serve from the left, and they'll take everything from the right. Just remember that. So what do we do with the napkin? I have to tell you that many people get confused about the napkin. So the napkin, you're going to just dab your mouth. You don't want to wipe it. You don't want to tuck it inside the shirt or anything like that. The napkin is there for your protection and for protection of your clothing. And I want to tell you something really interesting that probably many people do not know. The white napkins, we actually in England they call it serviettes, but in the United States we're much more relaxed. So the word napkin, if you use it in England, they will be a little. They will ask you, are you an American? Probably. So the serviette. Jackie Kennedy actually introduced the colors for the napkins and for the tablecloths, because usually the most formal tablecloths are white and long, and those are the most formal additions. But if you want to have much lesser informal event, you can definitely incorporate those type of tablecloths or serviettes that have colors and address the specific celebration, maybe Thanksgiving, maybe Christmas, maybe any other kind of holiday. So, and I think that is very pretty. She was known to be very creative host, and everybody loved her for that. So what else I can show you here? Many people do not know that when you sit at the table and you see a bowl with bread, what do? We don't grab it. We don't take it and place it in our plate. We want to offer to the person on the left or to the person on the right, and then we're going to take a piece, just like that. Or if we're sitting, because I've noticed that many people do not know that. They think that because they're very elegant and very, their just table manners are good, but they forget about those little details. So always make sure that you accommodate the people around you, and after that, you do what you have to do. So if we have a plate, usually I want you to know that the plate for the bread is on your left side. So how do we know which plate is ours? We always follow the rule BMW. B is for bread, M is for main course, and W is for the water. Or if you have young children, you can use B and D. So B is always going to be on your left, and D is always going to be on your right. And this is how you remember that this is your bread plate. Because a lot of times people might grab your bread plate or they might grab your drink. So this is the way you distinguish what is yours. So how do we eat the bread? If we have bread, usually I've noticed at some very high profile events, people are so nicely dressed and so sophisticatedly looking, but unfortunately they don't really know how to eat even the basic bread. So if you have the bread, you never want to bite. You never want to cut the bread, because it comes from religion and tradition. In general, etiquette comes from religion and tradition, because we don't cut the bread. In some is considered the body of Christ. And even if you don't follow the Christianity or Catholicism or whatever you're following, we do not cut bread with knives. So what do? We actually break the bread. We're going to have one piece. We don't want to break the bread in many pieces in front of us. Every time we want to take a bite, we just break one piece and bring it to our mouth, and this is how we consume the bread. Also, I have a bread knife, because many times we don't really know what it is. So this is a bread knife, stays on your lap, and you're going to take a little bit of butter and you're going to butter it, and this is the way you eat it. So do you have a question about this one?
Yeah, because we have this tradition back home that when you have the bread, you dunk it in your coffee. I'm like, okay, now that is an exception for this, okay? And we can do that.
I actually think that because I teach international fine dining, and usually the fine dining, the way people eat in India is very different than the people in England. Right? Because certain things, or even in South Africa or anywhere else. So we have to read the room. If I'm in your country and you offer to me, or you suggest that this is the way you eat the bread, probably I will do it, because I want to fit in. You don't want to stand out. You want to be accepted by the culture. And I personally think that is very wrong if we go, I've noticed many times I travel and with my kids, and somebody might say, oh, you don't do this. No, in my country, in my culture, I'm from Bulgaria, we do that, but so we have to be really tolerant. So I really love that you mentioned that this is the way you do it in your country. So when I go, I perhaps will join.
Because we have some, we call that merienda. We have like in between breakfast and lunch, we have merienda. And then we also have merienda in the afternoon, in between lunch and dinner. And that's when we have our coffee and we have our bread, and there's the bread, and we dunk it in the coffee and eat it. It's just a custom. I don't really, I don't find a pleasure in doing it, but it's just sometimes I find people doing that. There's nothing wrong really. So I was accustomed to that as well. So
yes.
Anyway, Yes. So anyhow, let's talk about the utensils, the spoon, the forks,
So,
everything.
about the utensils, we always want to place the forks on the left side, and the knives and the spoon are going to be on the right side. The only fork that you might find on the right side is going to be the cocktail fork. And I brought one here because you might see it that is going to lay inside the spoon. So the cocktail fork is on the right side because you have to understand that when we are talking about starting from outside in, you're going to start from the cocktail. So you have the fork and they are going to place perhaps a cocktail bowl or cup or whatever it is, and this is how you eat it. The next one is if I see that I have a spoon, that's the meaning of I'm expecting to have some soup. So how do we eat soup? Many people are confused about eating soup because it usually doesn't really make a lot of sense, because we are expecting that this is when we have the soup and we're just eating it that way towards us. We bring the soup towards us. But we have to understand that the etiquette was about exclusion back in the day. So there were so many rules created only for this particular part of the society that were part, for example, during the King Louis the 14th, because he's the father of etiquette. So he created so many rules, and they kept everyone else out. So in other words, if you know those rules, you're from a different higher society. So how do we eat the soup? We have this soup plate. We're going to take the spoon, and you're going to take the soup on the other side, not towards us, but against us. And this is how we're going to bring it to our mouth. If usually the soup spoons are round, this one is not. So obviously I'm not going to sip the soup that way. I'm just going to eat it the way it is.
So now what if the soup is hot?
If the soup is hot, we're going to just wait a little bit. There is nothing we can do. We cannot just blow the soup. We cannot just wondering. We cannot put water. You just have to be patient, and a little bit of patience, and it's going to be okay. But we don't want to do anything extra because it will look a little desperate. So we want to patiently wait for the soup to cool off.
Yes. So as you very well know, North America, they normally have the knife. In the Philippines, we have a spoon. A lot of our food will require spoon. That's why we have the spoon, the fork. And those are the main things. The spoon, we use it not only for the soup, we use it, sometimes we use it to cut our food. But the main thing is that we know that the spoon is not for cutting the food.
Yes, you see, those are little differences. And actually, we have American style of dining and continental style of dining, but many people do not know this detail that back in the day, before the continental style of dining, they used to use the zigzag, the current American style of dining, but people just simply do not know. So what means the zigzag dining? Zigzag dining, which is used only in the United States currently, is when we have our fork and the knife, and when we cut a piece, by the way, you cut only one piece. You don't want to cut your steak in small pieces around the plate. You just cut one piece. You put, for example, maybe mashed potatoes or something, and this is the way you eat it. So in the United States, most people, they leave the knife on the side of the plate, and they exchange hands. So they move the fork into the right hand and then continue eating. So this is something that you won't see in Europe because most people use a continental style of eating. They cut the piece and they just don't let the fork and the knife at the table. They continue to eat. And if they want to take a break, they're going just to put it that way inside the plate. They're not going to put it as a gondola. This is something really wrong. If you put the fork and the knife that way at the table, that's wrong. So you're going to put it inside the plate. and gently. And when you have people around you on the left and on the right, you want to you want to communicate and conversate with both sides. You don't want to talk only to one person on the left just because they have your interests. Sometimes you will be involved in conversations that are really not interested to you. But if you want to be a nice person with a good mannerism, you want to engage in a conversation. Sometimes somebody might have ideas or hobbies that you just really don't care about. Maybe they collect stones, or maybe something that you really don't want to know. So get to know the person, and after a while, just communicate with the person on the other side. So this is the correct way.
Yes, thank you so very much. So after we eat though, so it is also, I've learned that you have to put it sideways, both of your knife and your fork. Is it to the right, to the left?
This is correct. So when you're done with the food, you're going to put it next to each other that way or that way. It's going to be 10-4 or 12-6. And always remember that the knife is going to be facing inwards. You never place your knife facing the other side towards the person next to you, because looks a little aggressive, and it is something that is very basic. Also, when you're passing the salt and the pepper, when you're asking for salt and pepper, never pass just the salt. Always pass both. They go as a family, the salt and the pepper together. So those are little details that sometimes people do not know or they don't care to know. But for people who, took etiquette classes all their life, or they're very exposed, everything is visible. You want to be the right package for the people in front of you. You want to be in the best way possible. I don't know if we've got time. I just want to tell you a few things.
How about the toasting? Let's go to the toast.
Yes, about the toasting. So I have a glass of champagne here. Always remember, when we do the toast, we want to, first of all, we don't want to drink the entire glass immediately. You take small sips and you look the person in the eye. We do not clean glasses. This is something that I get corrected from many people in terms of culture, because in Argentina or in my country, if you don't clean glasses, people do not really enjoy. But in the diplomatic circles, you'll never see people clinking glasses. They don't go around and say cheers and clink glasses. This is not a informal event. For a formal event, you just lift your glass up, you say cheers, look the person in the eye, and take a sip. Also, if you don't have, for example, some people do not drink alcohol, right? So what do you do when you want to fit in? You don't ask for orange juice. You want to ask for something that resembles champagne, because if you drink the orange juice, everyone is going to know that you're not drinking. Why are you not drinking? So people might come asking you questions, which is very inappropriate, but you will be noticed, and you don't want to take the attention from everybody else. Also, if you have an empty glass, that's a bad etiquette. You want to be part of the occasion. You don't want to just pass by the occasion just because you don't want to drink. And the third thing that I really want you to I want to emphasize that is, we don't toast with water. The reason being is, during the Greek mythology, toasting with water was toasting to the dead. So this is a bad luck. So you really don't want to do that. In terms of toasting, those are little mistakes that we can actually avoid. I've done the toasting segment on TV. I've done it on new magazines, because people really want to know how to toast properly. So I hope that this is helpful for everyone. And the last thing I wanted to tell you is that if you see a fork and a knife that facing down, this is a French style of eating. If you see them up, this is the English one.
Repeat that again.
I had conversations with many people. So sometimes you might go to a restaurant and notice that the fork is facing down, right? Like that. It's down. It's just not up. I don't know if you can see me. It's not.
Oh, this one is down.
Is down.
If it's down, it's French.
That's the French way. Yes. And the French way was adopted by the Romanovs in Russia. So this, when you see that, don't think that people didn't know what they're doing, because I've seen it in Russia, I've seen it in France, but in England or in America, we predominantly see the forks are facing up. So just a little detail.
So, okay, I'm going to toast with you. So when you're toasting, though, should we wait for the host or the one who's giving the toast to drink first, or we just drink it all together?
No, definitely. You always want to wait for the host or for the person who is in charge, because if you have the glass and you decide to drink this once again, it's going to show how desperate you are. You don't want to drink before everybody else. But that's a great question. So if they toast to you, if you're the guest of honor and somebody toasts to you, you can say thank you, but you cannot really drink in your own honor, because it's a very, very bad etiquette. But this is the instinct. When someone toasts to you, you feel that, oh, okay, thank you so much. And you feel that you want to drink, right? But actually, you have to refrain from drinking. And how do you drink? You're going to reciprocate the toast, and then you can drink. Cheers.
Cheers and Merry Christmas. I was actually very excited because these are things that we can do during Christmas on our own, to think about what are these are mindfulness for me, because we think of the spoon, we feel the spoon before we're looking at a very good and nice setting. So this is also being kind to yourself and making sure that you feel great. And by having this, it doesn't have to be expensive. Anything you have at home, you can do it, and then do it with friends online, virtually. You can even teach them. You can use our show and teach them how to eat with fine dining, how to have fine dining, because we can no longer go to the restaurants or have a banquet or anything, or even Christmas holidays, right? So what can we do but rather enjoy the moment that we have?
Yes, we survived so far for the last 2 years, and this is not by accident. So if we're here, we just better enjoy it. So I'm really happy that hopefully we brought something different to the audience, and the people feel happier and in a lighter mood. And if they have any questions, they always can contact us. And I really want to send this gift, so I hope that somebody contacts you. And if you have any questions, please let me know. We can talk about dining for forever. I even have for dessert. I have so many things, but we can do it for another show.
So what is your website? Tell us about your website.
My website is manorofmanners.com.
MANOROFMANNER.com.
Yes.
And that is Marianne Parker. So you can actually also write her and get some questions. And you know that she teaches as well. She teaches us etiquette online, and she's a celebrity coach. She's just been coaching a lot of celebrity. And I've seen you getting featured in San Diego magazines and TV shows. Congratulations, and that it's a big achievement as well. And so anyhow, we have a surprise for everybody here. And I'm so excited that you actually allow me to invite Destiny.
Thank you so much. Let's change seats.
Okay.
Hello. Can you see?
Hi,
how are you?
Destiny. Okay, congratulations, the youngest scholar of Berkeley School of Music. Yes, I am so proud to know you. How did it feel when you got your scholarship?
I was very shocked, because I've always been singing, doing musical theater. So I'm just really grateful to have the opportunity to sing at school and do the performances at school too. So
have you been singing since you were a little girl?
Yes, my mom says about 3 years old. I don't really remember when I started, but I've always loved to sing. So
how did you get into this school? Did you apply, audition, or anything? How did you get discovered? It's hard to get in as a scholar as well. And I guess you had a couple of thousands, with that.
Yeah, I auditioned. I saw an application online, and there was an auditioning process. of doing sight reading, improv, and singing a song as well. And I just went for it. I was very nervous and I got in on a full scholarship. So I'm super grateful. Yeah.
So I hope you don't mind. I know I'm really thankful for your mom, and for this is a bonus for all of us to be able to hear you sing some carols. So this is Christmas. Would you mind singing for us?
Yes, of course. I'm gonna sing Silent Night.
And is this a cappella?
Yes, yes.
Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, Joy and Lish proudly present Destiny.
Silent night, holy night, all is cold, all is bright, round your virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
Here we go, friends, ladies and gentlemen. As we end our show, let us hope for the days where we could again find joy and comfort with going to midnight mass, enjoy dinner on Christmas Eve, huddled in front of our Christmas tree or fireplace. Open one special gift, look at family pictures, share jokes and laughter. But always remember the reason for the season, the birth of our Savior. For us Christians, this is the day we are reminded about simplicity, humility, love, and joy. Happy birthday, my Lord. And what a way to end this episode. Thank you so much, Marianne and Destiny, for guesting in our show tonight. I really wish you a very Merry Christmas, and to all our audience as well, here and abroad. Have a very Merry Christmas. Okay?
Thank you so
Happy
much.
holidays.
Happy holidays.
Thank you again. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. And this is the end of the show. And again, I hope to see you in 2022. Maligayang Pasko at maligayang Pasko sa inyong lahat.
Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Action Honda, where car ownership is made easy. Located at 4334 Kingston Road, Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Come to Action Honda. Whether bibili ka o hindi, it's always a pleasure to talk sa kababayan. Mabuhay!
Great car deals in action. Your Filipino friends ready at your service. Test drive at Action Honda today.
Countdown is on to 2022, and there's no better place to celebrate than downtown Brampton. Ring in the new year with live, in-person performances from Juno award-winning Canadian rock band Sam Roberts Band.
You're dressed in rags, everybody waving these faded flags.
Local artist Amira and special guest Nabe in Garden Square, followed by a 10-minute dazzling fireworks display at midnight, presented by Cal C Law. Celebrations generously sponsored by Tim Hortons begin at 9 p.m. Visit brampton.ca/New Year's Eve for more details.